Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries and brokers from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Jason Blair. He's a senior business broker with Transworld of Portland. Jason, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be
Jason,
here.
tell me a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients that you specialize in working with?
A little bit of background on about me is I am a retired chef. I've been in the restaurant industry most of my life, and owned and operated my own business. It was a small pizzeria here in Portland, Oregon. But so the types of clients I work with good business owners, or anybody good people that are looking to sell their business. I'm pretty much business agnostic. It's been a really interesting ride for me. Is that I think there's a lot of people that they want to get pigeonholed into a certain style and type of business, and I don't think that that's right for me, because it's all about the people. It's being able to help out people and getting to know them, and kind of being there, a little bit of business therapist. A lot of times we're going through broker therapy because people just want to bend an ear and let you know their trials and tribulations of what's going on with their business, or just to gloat about it and tell you what's good about it. And that's for me to hear, and I love hearing all that. So
We're kindred spirits because I do this reporting on business because I love, I'm not connected to anyone. I love to be, I'm fascinated with all kinds of businesses. So similarly, I like to hear about other businesses and learn about them. So Jason, what inspired this whole series is the Great Resignation that's been in the news. Lots of people leaving the Dilbert Cube, wanting to go into business for themselves. You're seeing a lot of people looking to buy businesses.
yeah.
How's that affected folks in your area? Have you seen an uptick of potential buyers in the market, and has that motivated sellers? What does it look like in your area?
In our area, it definitely is. It's all about what you can get in within your pipeline. And we've seen, it's interesting because I started this in the pandemic, when the pandemic started. And that was probably one of my best years, is because I was able to help people along. Now, 2021 came along, it kind of smoothed out a little bit for me, but there are buyers. If there's a good business out there, there's going to be buyers. And then with Transworld, we have such a large pool of buyers. We're such a large connection throughout the state, so it really helps with that as well.
So for people selling their businesses today, do they have experience? Have they gone through the process before, or are they
it
kind of
all
like a fish
depends.
out of water?
Yeah, it depends on the seller. Some people, and it depends on the business. Some people don't even have any experience, and they don't even know or want to know what it takes to sell the business, and that's where I come along. There's also very experienced clients that I have, and they know exactly what they need, they know exactly what they want, but they don't want to deal with everything that comes with selling and listing your business. So for me it ranges, and I have a certain amount of connections where if I have a new buyer or a new seller coming on, I educate as much as I can, but I also have a lot of networking within the community that I can send people. I've got bankers that I work with. I've got business coaches that I work with. I've got business development coaches that I work with, and accountants and bookkeepers. And so it's like it's a multi-tier approach that I like to help out with everybody. So it just depends. It depends.
So for folks selling their business for the first time, and they don't know what they don't know, is it kind of a rude awakening for them when they
Yeah,
realize what's involved, or
it
what
is a
is
rude
that like?
awakening. Yeah, it is a rude awakening. And that's your job as a business broker, is to give them all the paths and experience and just the knowledge that they need to know about selling your business. And it's a relationship style build, type of business that I'm in, and it's building the relationship and being communicative about where you're going with the possible sale or what they could get, and give them some scenarios, give them some options to work with, and then use your best knowledge. That's where you come in, is you have a handle. I have a handle on what I see and what a business, like whatever person is coming to sell. I have a good idea of what that business would sell for.
If they're
And then
new
just
to if they're new to selling a business and they don't know what to ask, what do they ask?
well, you always ask, what's my business worth? What's my business worth? And we don't really know what your business is worth until we get in and see what the numbers say, because the numbers don't lie, right? And the numbers will always sell your business. And there's a lot of people that want to sell blue sky, and it just doesn't. It'll just sit there. If somebody wants to know what it takes to sell their business, we'll have a conversation about the processes that we go through. We're going to recast your financials. We're going to come up with a list price. We're going to confidentially advertise that business out on the open market. We'll vet all the buyers that come through, make sure that they have the money to buy the business, set them up with bankers if they need to, and just kind of get a good handle of what they're looking for to make sure it's a good fit. And then we'll have an interview between the seller and buyer if it all works out. And then we'll take it to, hopefully then we'll get an offer in, right? And so we'll take it through every stage of our offer and acceptance, and work through certain contingencies that have to be met as far as lending. There's a due diligence phase that's in the beginning, where if a buyer doesn't really agree with any of the financials that they've already seen and looked at, they still have a chance to back out. And then once we get through a due diligence stage, then we'll work with the landlords, and we'll continue to work with lending. Lending's been a little bit longer, but it varies. And then we'll take it through closing. And there's I always call myself the grease between the gears, because I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, I'm the one that just makes sure that things keep moving smoothly. And so I'm just going to make sure that everybody's communicating, everybody's talking, and we're working towards the greater good. And that's the end game and the sell of the business.
What amazes me is we're in an age of information overload now, and yet people still don't know what they don't know, and they still don't know how to sell a business. Do you find that there's any myths or misconceptions that float around out there that people don't quite understand about when in regards to selling?
I think they don't understand the amount of work that goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and a lot of it is communication based. A lot of it is making sure that everybody is getting the information that they need. So there are people out there that think they can sell their business themselves, and they can, and that happens. But most times is they try it and they realize, oh, well, I put this on the public market, and now everybody's coming into my business and asking me about my business, or it's affecting sales. We do away with that. We help in that situation. You inquire a lot of different questions in this whole and I'm 3 years in, right? And so I am experienced at owning a business. I'm experienced at what it took to sell my business, because I went through everything. And I know what to kind of look for when you're going to sell, or when there's a couple of, there's always things that are going to come up, right? There's always some kind of thorn in the side, but it's your job as a broker to remove that, to keep the flow. So
give me a little insight, like when you finally decided, hey, this is what I want to do. What inspired that thought specifically? Like going from owning a pizza restaurant and being a chef to all of a sudden saying, hey, you know what? I just want to help business owners in transition sell their businesses? How'd you
Honestly,
get started?
this doesn't really happen often, but I sold my business in 3 days, and we got an offer in 3 days. We put it public, and so with my shop, the principal broker that owns the Portland territory, and his name's Darren Buckland. He would come in for pizza, and I had a great restaurant. It was good. I was just so sick of wearing every single hat. And a lot of people are sick of it. And a lot of people in this market are sick of employees, and they're sick of having to just basically do everything involved. Right. And so I was that guy, and I was burnt out. And Darren came in, and we had a conversation. I either wanted to move my business to a more high traffic area or get out. And he said, well, let's sell it. And so I said, well, okay, we'll put it on the market. And it was one of these things where I wanted to be a part of it. So I was like, here, come, bring this new buyer to look at it. He brings him by, and I took over, and I just walked the guy through everything. And I felt really comfortable in that space. And then when we were done and the guy left and he put in an offer, I said to, and Darren, and I said, well, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do now. Like, what happens next? And I was scared. And he said, why don't you come and work for me? I need someone that knows restaurants. And so it just was a natural progression, because it's such a customer service based business. It's about relationships. It's about building relationships and building trust with your clients. So that to me was natural, and it was great. And I've been doing I've had a couple of career paths, and for me it was, being a chef was a passion, and it's my art. It's how I show love too, is by cooking for people. And so I use that as a career, and it just kind of got to be, it burns you out. But now I have this where I'm I'm a fixer, right? I consider myself to want to fix and help people. And this was natural for me, because you are helping people, and you're helping them either get out of a good situation, or they're getting out of a bad situation, but you're helping them achieve what they want. And that's the next level of their life, the next step. So it was a natural progression.
Terrific. Jason, before I ask you my last question, give us a little bit of insight. If somebody's considering selling their business and they don't know where to start, but they want to start interviewing a business broker and considering one to work with, how did you choose yours? And what's important to know when you're considering hiring a business broker? How do you choose one?
I think you're going to hire business brokers off their reputation, right? And I would look within your community to find the reputation. But Transworld Business Advisors has an amazing reputation, I believe. We have a fearless leader in Andy Cagnetta, who has started this, 40 years ago. And Andy's really big in the community of the business brokerage community. And he's a wealth of knowledge. And having that as someone that you can follow or tap into, that was a big part of my decision. And then also Darren, he is a solid human being, and he was trustworthy, that I know. And he was very, he communicated well with me. And I think that, I'm going to always go I'm drinking the Transworld juice. I think that it's a great company. It's great to be a part of, and we're growing, and we're the number one in the nation. So I would always, if you're looking for a business broker, I would start with Transworld and then trickle down.
Hey, you're a convert of the system. You received their results. So
Yeah.
nothing better than that. So
Yeah.
Jason, for folks listening now that are considering selling their business, and it's time for them to talk to someone, and if they'd like to talk with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, you can email me if you're in the Portland metro area. You can email me at jblair@tworld.com, or you can reach out with me and connect directly to my cell phone at 763-269-1979. And you can also go onto our website at tworld.com and look for the Portland area and check out businesses we have listed, or reach out to buy a business as well.
Fantastic. Jason, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with my audience today, and I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been great.
Jason Blair, Senior Business Broker with Transworld of Portland, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.